The story of dinosaurs unfolds across a vast tapestry of time and geography, one that spans millions of years and reshaped the very face of our planet. To truly understand which continents hosted the most dangerous dinosaurs, we must first set the stage by exploring the age of dinosaurs and the dynamic nature of continental drift, the slow but relentless rearrangement of Earth's land masses that defined the habitats where these creatures lived and hunted. Dinosaurs dominated terrestrial ecosystems for roughly 165 million years during the Mesozoic Era, a geological period that stretches from around 252 million to 66 million years ago. This era is traditionally divided into three periods: the Triassic, Jurassic, and Cretaceous. The Triassic period, beginning shortly after the Permian mass extinction, was a time of recovery and rapid evolutionary experimentation. Early dinosaurs emerged alongside other archosaurs in relatively small and modest forms. This period was marked by fluctuating climates and shifting landscapes as Earth's supercontinent, Pangaea, remained largely intact. Moving into the Jurassic period, the Earth's climate became warmer and more humid, ushering in lush vegetation and the diversification of dinosaurs into many of the familiar groups we recognize today. The breakup of Pangaea began at this time, creating rifting valleys and eventually giving rise to the distinct continents that would later influence dinosaur distribution. Finally, the Cretaceous period represents the pinnacle and the twilight of the dinosaurs' reign. The land masses drifted into shapes somewhat reminiscent of the modern continents, though not yet in their present-day locations or arrangements. The climate during the Cretaceous was generally warm, fostering rich ecosystems, from dense forests to inland seas. Crucial to this narrative is the concept of continental drift, coined and developed in the early 20th century from the observations of Alfred Wegener. According to Wegener's hypothesis, continents are not fixed, but move slowly over the mantle on tectonic plates. Today, this movement is measured in centimeters per year, but over millions of years, such motion reshaped entire continents. During the Mesozoic Era, the fate of the continents was characterized by incredible transformations. Starting from the supercontinent Pangaea, which held nearly all Earth's land masses together, fragmentation began in the late Triassic and intensified through the Jurassic and Cretaceous. This breakup gradually formed two large land masses, Laurasia in the north and Gondwana in the south. Laurasia comprised what we now know as North America, Europe, and Asia, whereas Gondwana included South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and India. These massive continental blocks were separated by growing ocean basins such as the Tethys Sea and the Proto-Atlantic Ocean. This geological upheaval was more than just a matter of shifting land. It fundamentally influenced dinosaur evolution by isolating populations, creating barriers that restricted migration, and giving rise to varied climates and ecosystems. It's within these geographic and environmental contexts that dinosaurs adapted, diversified, and, notably, developed different survival strategies, including those that designated some as the most dangerous predators of their time. Climate variation played a significant role within these ancient continents. For instance, northern Laurasia experienced a range of environments from arid deserts to lush, temperate forests, whereas parts of Gondwana were dominated by arid plains and extensive wetlands. These conditions affected which species thrived and how they interacted, including predator and prey dynamics. Alongside geographic changes, the era's atmospheric conditions were also unique. Carbon dioxide levels were notably higher than today, leading to warmer temperatures and high sea levels that flooded continental interiors, forming vast shallow seas rich in marine life, which in turn influenced terrestrial food chains and ecosystems. This interplay of continental drift, climate fluctuations, and ecological niches laid the foundation for a remarkable diversity of dinosaur species. It led to true biogeographic provinces where distinct families of dinosaurs evolved independently, sometimes converging in form and function, but often producing unique lineages adapted to their specific environments. As we embark on this exploration of dangerous dinosaurs by continent, it's important to remember that these prehistoric creatures were part of a constantly changing world. The fossils we study today are fragments of this dynamic history, preserved through millions of years of geological processes, climate change, and evolutionary adaptation. Our journey begins with an understanding that the very ground beneath these giants was not as it seems today. Continents moved, seas rose and fell, and climates shifted, all of which influenced the distribution and evolution of the dinosaurs that once dominated each landmass. Through this lens, we will examine what it means for a dinosaur to be considered dangerous and trace the fascinating, sometimes terrifying histories of these prehistoric predators and their contemporaries on the shifting continents of the Mesozoic world. With the stage thus set, the age of dinosaurs and the restless movements of the continents beneath them, the next step is to define what characteristics made certain dinosaurs the most dangerous as we delve into their hunting strategies, anatomical adaptations, and ecological roles. This foundation will allow us to frame our exploration with clarity and purpose, connecting the immense history of Earth's physical changes with the thrilling saga of dinosaur survival and supremacy. Continuing from our broad understanding of the age of dinosaurs and the shifting continents that shaped their existence, we now turn to a more focused question. What exactly makes a dinosaur dangerous? To explore this critical aspect thoroughly, we must carefully define the criteria by which we judge danger in dinosaurs. Only then can we fairly compare the thrilling, yet terrifying array of prehistoric creatures across continents and epochs. When contemplating danger, it is natural to imagine a carnivorous predator, a formidable hunter lurking in the shadows. While predation certainly forms a vital part of this characterization, the concept of danger is far more complex and multifaceted. It involves various biological, ecological, and functional traits that combined made certain dinosaurs particularly threatening to other animals, including their prey, rivals, and occasionally even their own kind. First and foremost, we must recognize the difference between physical capability and behavioral danger. Some dinosaurs were physically imposing but slow or solitary, their threat often due to sheer size and power. Others were agile, intelligent hunters, wielding weapons like sharp claws or serrated teeth skillfully in coordinated group attacks. Many possessed defensive adaptations that turned them into walking fortresses, capable of inflicting tremendous damage in self-defense. This spectrum of danger underscores the need for a nuanced approach. Hence, our exploration will focus on a constellation of interrelated criteria, blending anatomy, ecological role, and hunting strategies. These criteria include bite force and weaponry, sensory capabilities, locomotion and speed, intelligence and behavioral complexity, and ecological dominance within their environment. Bite force serves as a primary metric when assessing predatory danger, especially for theropod dinosaurs, the meat-eaters known for their formidable jaws. Biting power not only influences the ability to kill prey effectively, but also reflects on a dinosaur's position within the food chain. For example, the famously powerful bite of Tyrannosaurus rex has been estimated to exceed 8,000 pounds per square inch, allowing it to crush bone and overwhelm prey. Yet some competitors from other continents may have rivaled or even surpassed this force, demonstrating that danger was not exclusive to any single lineage. Weaponry isn't limited to teeth alone. Sharp claws, horns, spikes, and armored shells factored heavily into a dinosaur's danger profile. The raptorial claws of dromaeosaurids like Velociraptor allowed for precise and lethal strikes, while the thick, clubbed tail of ankylosaurs provided a brutal defense that could stun or incapacitate attackers. Among horned dinosaurs, such as Triceratops, formidable cranial appendages functioned as both offense and defense, deterring predators or dominating rivals. Thus, anatomical adaptations are key in understanding both offensive and defensive danger. Sensory abilities, including vision, smell, and hearing, greatly influenced a dinosaur's hunting prowess and awareness of threats. Enhanced senses allowed predators to detect and stalk prey with greater efficiency, while prey species relied on acute perception to evade predators or identify danger early enough to mount a defense or flee. Evaluating sensory system sophistication involves studying skull fossils for brain cavity size and structure, as well as the placement and size of sensory organs. Locomotion and speed are equally critical factors. A predator might be dangerous because it can sprint down prey or execute agile maneuvers that outwit other creatures. Similarly, defensive dinosaurs may rely on speed to escape or complex movement patterns to position themselves advantageously. Fossilized footprints and biomechanical modeling provide insights into these abilities, allowing scientists to reconstruct whether dinosaurs were sprinters, ambush predators, or slow-moving tanks. Mental capabilities, often underestimated in dinosaurs, are increasingly recognized as essential to their potential danger. Evidence from endocranial studies suggests varying intelligence levels, with some theropods showing signs of relatively large brain-to-body ratios. Intelligence influences problem-solving, hunting coordination, and social behavior, turning solitary hunters into pack strategists or solitary behemoths into cunning opportunists. Ecological dominance also shapes the concept of danger. A dinosaur that dominated its ecosystem, controlling access to food, territory, and mates, exerted a danger not just through individual encounters, but through influence on the environment as a whole. Apex predators like T-Rex or Spinosaurus exemplify this, but so too do defensive giants like titanosaurs, whose immense size deterred most predators and effectively shaped the dynamics of their habitat. In addition to these biological considerations, dangers could sometimes be indirect or unexpected. For instance, the potential presence of venom has been hypothesized in some theropods, though the evidence remains controversial and scarce. Similarly, some dinosaurs may have used intimidation displays, booming calls, or vivid coloration as psychological weapons. These behavioral traits further complicate the definition of danger, but enrich our understanding. With all these criteria in mind, it becomes clear that danger is not a single characteristic, but an interplay of anatomy, behavior, and environmental context. To rank dinosaurs simply by size or bite strength neglects the full picture of how they lived, hunted, and survived. Therefore, as we journey through the continents and assess their prehistoric inhabitants, we will apply these criteria to evaluate which dinosaurs posed the greatest threats. We will balance raw power with cunning strategy, solitary fearlessness with coordinated pack tactics, and offense with defense. This balanced and multifaceted framework sets the stage for a compelling investigation of dangerous dinosaurs, leading us to their stories etched forever in stone and bone, waiting to be rediscovered. Up next, with the concept of danger clearly outlined, we will dive deeper into the role that Mesozoic geography played in shaping dinosaur evolution, how the breakup of the supercontinents influenced the emergence of different dinosaur lineages, and the ecosystems that fostered their development. As we move from defining what makes a dinosaur dangerous, we now turn our attention to the broader stage on which these ancient creatures lived, the geography, of the Mesozoic Era. To understand how continents shaped dinosaur evolution, we must appreciate the dynamic and transformative nature of Earth's surface during the time dinosaurs roamed, a period of monumental tectonic shifts, climate changes, and the unsurpassed influence these forces had on life's grand evolutionary experiments. During the Mesozoic Era, spanning roughly 186 million years, the world map was distinctly different from the one we know today. Yet, this was not a static landscape. It was fluid, vibrant, and alive with disruption. The tale of these continents, their fragmentation, collisions, and separations, provides essential insight into how dinosaur species diversified, adapted, and, indeed, became dangerous predators in unique ways across disparate land masses. At the dawn of the Mesozoic, the Earth's land was mostly united into a supercontinent known as Pangaea. This monumental landmass stretched almost uninterrupted from the northern to the southern hemispheres, enclosing a vast variety of climates and ecologies within its expanse. Pangaea's sheer size meant that terrestrial animals, including early dinosaurs, could, in theory, roam widely. However, the gargantuan supercontinent also produced extreme interior climates, arid deserts, and seasonal extremes that created harsh environments for life in its central regions. The vastness of Pangaea influenced evolutionary trajectories by creating both opportunities and barriers. Species on the fringes of the continent experienced different selective pressures than those in the interior. Crucially, this set the stage for later geographic separation, as Pangaea was not to remain unified for long. Starting in the late Triassic and intensifying through the Jurassic and into the Cretaceous, tectonic forces began to rift Pangaea apart. This gradual continental drift divided the supercontinent into two large land masses, Laurasia in the north and Gondwana in the south. Laurasia eventually further separated into North America, Europe, and Asia, while Gondwana fragmented into South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent. This splitting had profound implications for dinosaur evolution. The geographical separation effectively isolated populations, limiting gene flow and allowing distinct dinosaur faunas to evolve. This biogeographic partitioning is why we see, for example, theropods with distinct evolutionary traits in South America compared to North America or Asia. The isolation allowed for the development of unique adaptations geared toward the local environment, including various hunting techniques, dietary preferences, and defense strategies. Moreover, the formation of shallow epicontinental seas, shallow inland seas covering continental areas, greatly influenced the climates and ecosystems. In Laurasia, the western interior seaway divided North America into two islands in the late Cretaceous, fostering unique island ecologies with sometimes smaller and distinct species evolving due to isolation. Each continent's climate was equally critical. For instance, Gondwana's southern parts experienced relatively warmer and wetter conditions, with extensive floodplains and tropical forests, supporting enormous sauropods and diverse herbivores that predators had to adapt to hunt or defend against. Contrastingly, portions of Laurasia often had more temperate climates with seasonal variation, influencing different ecological balances and behaviors. The movement of continents also affected dinosaur migration routes, opening and closing land bridges and shallow seas. For example, periodic land connections during the Cretaceous allowed some faunal exchange between Africa, Europe, and Asia, fostering episodes of evolutionary convergence and competition among dinosaur groups. Additionally, the topography dominated by mountain-building events, orogenies, shaped habitats and migration routes. Rising mountain ranges could act as barriers or corridors for dinosaur species, further shaping population structures and evolutionary paths. Understanding these geophysical and climatic contexts helps explain the distribution of some of the most dangerous dinosaurs. For example, the massive predator Giganotosaurus evolved in South America, where sauropods reached colossal sizes, requiring specialized hunting adaptations large enough to tackle such prey. Meanwhile, in North America, the apex predator Tyrannosaurus rex adapted with powerful jaws and robust build suited for different ecosystems. The evolutionary arms race between predators and prey was heavily influenced by this geography. Defensive adaptations, such as the heavy armor and tail clubs of ankylosaurs, evolved in ecosystems rich with large carnivores, while some herbivores evolved speed or social behaviors to evade danger. In some, the breakup of Pangaea, rising and falling sea levels, climatic shifts, and the formation of distinct continental ecosystems created a complex mosaic of environments. This instability was a catalyst for evolutionary innovation and specialization, fueling the emergence of diverse and dangerous dinosaurs well adapted to their regional habitats. As we proceed, this understanding of Mesozoic geography serves as a vital framework. It lets us comprehend why certain continents became hotbeds for specific dinosaur groups, from the towering sauropods of South America to the swift, feathered hunters of Asia, and underscores how the Earth itself, ever in motion, was a sculptor of prehistoric life's most thrilling chapters. Next, we shall explore how paleontologists piece together this story from fossil discoveries, decoding clues embedded in stone to reconstruct the lifestyles, behaviors, and, in some cases, the venomous traits of these formidable creatures. Having explored the vast geographical canvas upon which dinosaurs evolved, we now dive into the fascinating world of fossil discoveries. Our window into their lives, behaviors, and even the tantalizing possibility of venom. It is from the stones of ancient Earth that paleontologists piece together the dramas of deep time, reconstructing how these creatures lived, hunted, defended themselves, and sometimes wielded biochemical weaponry. Fossils are the primary source of knowledge about dinosaurs. These traces of prehistoric life come in forms such as bones, teeth, footprints, skin impressions, and occasionally soft tissue remains, each offering invaluable clues. Together, they form an intricate puzzle that scientists tirelessly study to reconstruct lifestyles that ended millions of years ago. The most direct evidence comes from bones and teeth, which preserve the structural anatomy of dinosaurs. Through meticulous analysis of bone shapes, sizes, and wear patterns, paleontologists can infer muscle attachments, joint movement, and even how these animals aged or healed from injuries. For example, robust jawbones paired with serrated teeth typically indicate a carnivorous diet, while flat teeth with wear patterns suggest herbivory. Further insights emerge through biomechanical modeling, a synergy of paleontology, engineering, and physics. Scientists create digital reconstructions of dinosaur skeletons and simulate muscle forces and movements to test hypotheses about locomotion and hunting strategies. This approach has revealed, for instance, the crushing bite force of Tyrannosaurus rex, estimated to be the strongest of any terrestrial animal, capable of crushing bone with ease. Fossilized footprints, also known as trackways, offer unique behavioral evidence. They provide snapshots of locomotion speed, gait, and even social behavior, like herd movement or coordinated hunting. Footprints can reveal how fast a predator pursued prey or the cautious trot of a defensive herbivore. Skin impressions and rare fossils preserving feathers or scales add texture and color to our reconstruction. The discovery of feathered dinosaurs in Mongolia and China revolutionized our understanding, not only revealing connections between birds and dinosaurs, but also suggesting insulation, display features, and potentially silent stalking or complex social signaling. Blood vessels, cells, and even pigments have now been glimpsed in exceptionally preserved specimens, pushing the boundaries of fossil science. These discoveries deepen our comprehension of dinosaur physiology, metabolism, and coloration, aspects that influence their survival and predatory or defensive behaviors. When it comes to venom, a subject once considered purely speculative, fossils play a critical but challenging role. Evidence of venom in dinosaurs is elusive because venom glands and soft tissues rarely fossilize. However, paleontologists look for indirect signs. For example, certain theropods had enlarged grooves or pits on their teeth, similar to the venom grooves found in some modern snakes and lizards. Some have theorized that dinosaurs like Carnotaurus or certain dromaeosaurids might have employed venom to incapacitate prey or defend themselves. Beyond tooth morphology, other indirect evidence includes fossilized wounds on prey species that suggest toxic bites, or possible bone pathologies in predator fossils indicating envenomation-related infections. However, these lines of evidence are debated and remain inconclusive without living examples. Chemical analysis of fossils using cutting-edge techniques like synchrotron imaging and mass spectrometry aims to detect organic residues that might hint at venom compounds. Though still in its infancy, this research holds promise for someday confirming whether some dinosaurs possessed venomous capabilities. Reconstructing lifestyle also involves interpreting the contexts of fossils, the sedimentary environments, and associated fauna. Fossils found in ancient riverbeds suggest aquatic or semi-aquatic lifestyles, like those inferred for Spinosaurus, which exhibited adaptations for swimming and fishing. Conversely, fossils discovered in arid dune deposits hint at desert-adapted species with distinct survival strategies. Studying bone histology, the microscopic structure of bones, provides data on growth rates, age at maturity, and metabolism. Fast-growing bones support hypotheses of high activity levels and warm-blooded traits, which feed into the estimation of a dinosaur's agility and endurance, critical elements in their predatory or defensive abilities. Together, all these threads, morphology, biomechanical data, trace fossils, rare soft tissue evidence, and chemical analyses, are woven into a living narrative of the Mesozoic wilderness. Each fossil discovery extends or revises our understanding, illuminating behaviors like hunting strategies, social structures, and even whether some dinosaurs wielded biochemical weapons like venom. The knowledge gleaned underscores that dinosaurs were not just static relics, but dynamic creatures exhibiting complex adaptations. These adaptations forged their paths as some of the most dangerous animals to ever walk the earth. Each trait honed by millions of years of evolution shaped by shifting continents, climates, and ecosystems. As we continue this journey, we will take a guided tour of the Mesozoic continents themselves, the geographic theaters where the players of this prehistoric saga evolved. From Laurasia and Gondwana to their fragmented successor lands, understanding the backdrop of ancient Earth deepens our grasp of dinosaur diversity and the peril hidden within their bones. Stepping forward from how fossils illuminate dinosaur lifestyles and the tantalizing possibility of venom, we embark now on a grand tour of the Mesozoic continents themselves, namely Laurasia, Gondwana, and their evolving fragments. These ancient landmasses were the crucibles where dinosaur diversity blossomed, realms shaped by shifting plates and vast seas, hosting distinct faunas adapted to a kaleidoscope of environments. At the heart of the Mesozoic world lies Laurasia, sometimes called the Old Red Continent, a landmass formed by the merging of ancient cratons that today comprise large parts of North America, Europe, and parts of Asia. Laurasia's formation began in the Devonian, but played a crucial role throughout the Mesozoic, enduring as a major component of Laurasia, the northern supercontinent. During much of the Mesozoic, Laurasia experienced intense geological activity. Rifting and subduction zones created mountain ranges and sedimentary basins, forging diverse habitats for dinosaurs to colonize. Its location in the northern hemisphere meant distinct climatic factors shaped dinosaur evolution. Seasonal variations, temperate zones, and even tropical regions emerging from shifting latitudes. Laurasia's dinosaur assemblages were diverse and complex. In North America, for instance, late Cretaceous ecosystems featured apex predators like the mighty Tyrannosaurus rex, alongside swift dromaeosaurs, and abundant herbivores like Triceratops. Europe, fragmented into island chains by rising sea levels, hosted dwarf dinosaurs specialized for limited island resources, adding unique diversity to Laurasia's fauna. Across the Atlantic and into Asia, Laurasia's eastern expanses fostered an extraordinary evolution of feathered theropods, intricate predator-prey dynamics, and spectacular fossil sites like the Gobi Desert. This region was particularly important for the evolution of small, agile predators, and has provided some of the best preserved evidence for bird-like feathers among dinosaurs. Shifting to the southern hemisphere, Gondwana presents a starkly different, colossal supercontinent. During the Mesozoic, Gondwana incorporated what are today South America, Africa, Antarctica, Australia, and the Indian subcontinent. This vast and ecologically varied landmass was remarkable both for its immense size and for the climatic gradients present, from tropical forests to arid deserts and polar regions. Gondwana was a hotbed for some of the most massive and dangerous dinosaurs known. South America fostered titanic theropods like Giganotosaurus and massive titanosaurs. Europe's neighbors to the north were absent or fragmented, while Africa harbored unique predators such as Spinosaurus, a semi-aquatic giant unlike any other. The separation of Gondwana into smaller fragments during the late Mesozoic further influenced dinosaur evolution by isolating populations and encouraging divergent evolutionary paths. Each fragment of Gondwana developed its own distinctive dinosaur ecosystems. Australia's geographic isolation led to a unique array of smaller predatory dinosaurs and herbivores adapted to its subtropical environment. Antarctica, while mostly studied through fragmentary fossils, reveals evidence of dinosaurs surviving in polar conditions during warmer periods of the Mesozoic. It is important to consider the paleogeographic complexity within these landmasses. For example, the Indian subcontinent was initially part of Gondwana, but embarked on a long northward journey during the late Cretaceous, dramatically altering faunal exchanges between Asia and the south. Such migrations shaped the arrival and extinction of certain dinosaur groups, underlining how continental drift was central to dinosaur diversification. Between Laurasia and Gondwana lay the Tethys Sea, a vast oceanic expanse separating the two supercontinents. Periodic land bridges sometimes connected fragments, allowing intermittent faunal exchanges. This ebb and flow of connection contributed to similarities seen in dinosaur species from otherwise distant regions, while prolonged separations fostered truly endemic species. Moreover, the continental breakup influenced climatic changes, altering atmospheric circulation, ocean currents, and temperature gradients that in turn affected the habitats dinosaurs inhabited. Flora and fauna adapted to these shifts, driving ecosystem complexity and the evolutionary arms race that produced many of the dangerous qualities we explore. This intricate patchwork of continents, seas, and climates created a dynamic theater where countless dinosaur dramas unfolded. From the vast floodplains of Gondwana to the lush coastal forests of Laurasia, each region imposed its own evolutionary pressures, sculpting dinosaurs into predators and prey finely tuned to their surroundings. As we navigate this ancient geography, we gain context for why some continents developed monstrous apex predators, while others fostered smaller, highly specialized hunters or defensively armored herbivores. This geographic framework lays the groundwork for our more detailed examinations of each continent's unique dinosaur inhabitants in upcoming sections, starting with North America, the renowned homeland of the tyrant kings. Thus, our journey through ancient Earth continues, reminding us that to understand the deadliest dinosaurs, we must first appreciate the vibrant and shifting world they called home. As we journey from the mosaic continents of the Mesozoic into the rich landscapes of North America, we enter a prehistoric realm, arguably the most famous stage for the most formidable of all dinosaurs, the tyrant kings. This vast land, shaped by a complex geological history and dynamic ecosystems, became home to some of the deadliest terrestrial predators ever discovered, crowned most notably by the iconic Tyrannosaurus rex. North America's Mesozoic story begins with its connection as part of the northern supercontinent Laurasia. The breakup of this landmass during the late Jurassic and subsequent Cretaceous periods profoundly altered the region's geography, carving inland seas and mountain ranges, and defining the habitats where dinosaurs thrived. Amid these shifting landscapes, dinosaurs evolved with incredible diversity, from towering herbivorous sauropods grazing primal forests to fearsome carnivores stalking ancient floodplains. The late Cretaceous, about 68 to 66 million years ago, marks North America's golden age of tyrant kingship. During this period, the continent was split by the western interior seaway into two large land masses, Laramidia to the west and Appalachia to the east. Laramidia, encompassing much of present-day western North America, is where the richest dinosaur fossils, including those of the apex predators and their prey, have been unearthed. Here, ecosystems flourished with dense vegetation, diverse herbivores, and ferocious predators competing for dominance. At the summit of this predator hierarchy stood Tyrannosaurus rex, a name that still fires the imagination. This colossal theropod, reaching lengths up to 40 feet and weighing nearly 9 tons, possessed anatomical specializations that made it perhaps the most commanding predator of its time. Its skull, massive and reinforced, contained the strongest known bite force among terrestrial animals, capable of executing bone-crushing attacks. This formidable weaponry was complemented by sharp serrated teeth, some exceeding 12 inches in length, perfectly designed for tearing flesh and shattering bone. Beyond raw strength, T-Rex exhibited adaptations for endurance and hunting efficiency. Its keen senses, particularly defined vision and acute olfactory capabilities, enabled it to detect prey over great distances or potentially identify carcasses to scavenge. The robust hind limbs and balanced body implied powerful, though not necessarily high-speed, locomotion, sufficient for ambush or pursuit over short distances. Yet, the Tyrant King did not reign unchallenged. North America's late Cretaceous ecosystems also hosted a variety of theropods, including smaller but agile dromaeosaurs, troodontids, and the occasionally encountered tyrannosaur relatives like Albertosaurus and Daspletosaurus. These predators often exploited different ecological niches, hunting smaller prey or engaging in scavenging, creating a complex web of predatory interactions. Herbivores of North America provided ample sustenance, but were by no means defenseless. Massive hadrosaurs with keen senses and social behaviors offered abundant prey, while ceratopsians like Triceratops wielded formidable horns and robust skulls for defense. Armored dinosaurs, such as ankylosaurs, with heavy bony clubs at their tails, posed serious threats even to top predators. Paleontological discoveries from sites like the Hell Creek Formation in Montana and the Dinosaur Park Formation in Alberta illuminate this fierce landscape in stunning detail. Well-preserved skeletons, often found in groupings or alongside fossilized footprints, provide clues to behaviors that might include territory defense, hunting strategies, and even intraspecies combat. Additionally, recent evidence hints at social behaviors among tyrannosaurids, possibly coordinated pack hunting or complex communication, illustrating that danger was not merely a function of physical might, but also intelligence and interaction. North America was also a place of evolutionary experimentation with theropod diversity, where feathered relatives of T. rex likely sported proto-feathers, blurring traditional images of scaly, reptilian hunters. These features may have served for display, thermoregulation, or sensory functions, adding layers of complexity to their roles as apex predators. The continent's rivers, forests, and coastal plains formed a shifting arena where the balance of power was continually negotiated. Here, dinosaurs like T. rex embodied the pinnacle of predatory adaptation, a testament to millions of years of evolutionary refinement shaped by competition, prey defenses, and environmental pressures. As we delve deeper, we will uncover the anatomical secrets that empowered these tyrant kings, their hunting tactics, sensory capabilities, and the fiercely competitive ecosystems they dominated. Beyond the kings themselves, we'll meet the swift and cunning raptors, the heavily armored herbivores, and the myriad creatures that collectively framed North America as a prehistoric powerhouse of dinosaur danger. In the chapters ahead, North America emerges not just as a landmass, but as an enduring symbol of dinosaur dominance, a world where titans ruled and danger was an everyday reality etched into Earth's geological and biological record. Building upon our introduction to North America as the home of the tyrant kings, we now turn our focus to the undisputed monarch of them all, Tyrannosaurus rex. This giant predator has occupied a unique place in both scientific inquiry and popular imagination, renowned not only for its monstrous size, but for its remarkable anatomical adaptations, hunting prowess, and unmatched bite force that crowned it as one of the most dangerous dinosaurs to ever live. Tyrannosaurus rex, often simply called T. rex, lived during the late Maastrichtian stage of the late Cretaceous period, about 68 to 66 million years ago. It thrived in what are now Western North America's diverse environments, comprising floodplains, forests, and coastal plains, a rich ecosystem supported by abundant herbivorous dinosaurs and other prey. Anatomically, T. rex was a marvel of evolutionary engineering. It reached lengths of up to 40 feet, 12 meters, stood about 12 to 13 feet tall at the hips, and weighed an estimated 8 to 9 tons. The massive skull was robust and dense, measuring over 5 feet in length. Reinforced by specialized bones and fused elements, the skull's structure allowed it to withstand incredible forces without shattering when delivering its potent bite. Perhaps the most renowned feature of T. rex is its jaw and teeth. Its teeth were thick, conical, and serrated, sometimes described as resembling railroad spikes, some exceeding 12 inches in length when including the root. These teeth were designed not just to slice through flesh, but to puncture and crumble bone, a capability critical for scavenging carcasses and hunting large armored herbivores like Triceratops and Edmontosaurus. Bite force estimates for T. rex have long fascinated scientists and the public alike. Modern biomechanical studies, employing computer simulations, finite element analysis, and comparisons with living animals, suggest a maximum bite force ranging between 8,000 to over 12,000 pounds of force, approximately 35,000 to 53,000 newtons. This bite force is the strongest recorded among terrestrial animals, dwarfing that of predators like lions, crocodiles, or even the great white shark. The mechanism of this immense bite involved powerful jaw muscles, particularly the temporalis and masseter muscles, anchored to bony crests on the skull. These muscles allowed T-Rex not only to bite powerfully, but to exert sustained pressure, crushing bones to access marrow nutrients. However, raw power alone doesn't fully describe T-Rex's hunting strategies. Its senses played a vital role. Endocasts of the brain, which provide a three-dimensional impression of brain cavity shape, indicate large olfactory bulbs and optic lobes, suggesting exceptional smell and vision. These abilities likely enabled effective tracking of prey over long distances, either alive or by scenting carrion. Although its massive build limited speed compared to smaller theropods, evidence suggests T-Rex was capable of moderate bursts of velocity, possibly between 12 to 25 miles per hour, 20 to 40 kilometers per hour. This speed, coupled with keen sensory perception, likely made it a successful ambush hunter. It may have relied on stealth and short bursts of acceleration rather than prolonged chases. T-Rex's famously small forelimbs, though disproportionate to its massive body, were nonetheless muscular and functional. These two-fingered arms potentially assisted during mating, balance while feeding, or grasping struggling prey. The exact purpose remains debated, but the arm's strength suggests they were not entirely vestigial. Social behavior and hunting tactics continue to be areas of research and speculation. Recent fossil evidence hints at possible pack or social hunting, which would have increased the effectiveness of these predators against large herbivores. Trackway discoveries and bone beds containing multiple individuals suggest interactions ranging from competition to cooperation. Still, this remains an active and evolving scientific dialogue. In hunting, T-Rex likely targeted slow or vulnerable dinosaurs such as hadrosaurs and ceratopsians. Using its crushing bite, it could deliver lethal damage quickly, neutralizing prey before they could fight back effectively. Scavenging was also plausible. Its sheer power enabled access to carcasses other predators could not exploit. Finally, T-Rex's evolutionary success and dangerous nature were tied deeply to its ecosystem. It coexisted with giant herbivores that provided substantial caloric returns, and environmental conditions favored predators capable of exerting overwhelming force and tactical hunting skills. In summary, the power of Tyrannosaurus rex lies in the integration of its massive size, unrivaled jaw strength, specialized sensory adaptations, and possibly complex hunting behaviors. These qualities combined to make it a formidable apex predator that dominated late Cretaceous North America with efficiency and terror. Next, we will explore the wider cast of North America's predators, the swift theropods and raptors that relied on agility, intelligence, and pack strategies to carve their own niches and add layers of danger to this prehistoric landscape. Following our detailed look at the tyrant king Tyrannosaurus rex, we now turn our attention to another captivating group of North American dinosaurs, raptors and their theropod relatives. While T-Rex was the embodiment of brute force and overwhelming power, raptors and other smaller theropods carved out a distinctly different niche as swift, agile, and intelligent predators. Their evolutionary adaptations paint a vivid picture of predation strategies that relied on speed, cunning, and often complex social behaviors. Raptors, or dromaeosaurids as paleontologists classify them, represent a diverse family of feathered theropods. They thrived during the late Cretaceous in North America and beyond, showcasing remarkable agility, sharp claws, and acute senses. Velociraptor is perhaps the most famous among them, thanks in part to popular culture, but the North American species, such as Deinonychus and Saurornitholestes, provide a clearer glimpse into the life of these hunters. Deinonychus, whose name means terrible claw, was roughly 10 to 13 feet long and probably weighed around 100 to 150 kilograms. What truly distinguished Deinonychus were its large, sickle-shaped claws on the second toe of each foot, believed to have been used to slash or clutch prey. These claws, combined with a long, stiffened tail for balance, an elongated skull equipped with sharp, serrated teeth, and strong hind limbs, made Deinonychus an efficient predator capable of hunting animals larger than itself. Unlike the towering T-Rex, Deinonychus and its raptor kin depended heavily on speed and maneuverability. Studies based on limb proportions and estimated muscle attachment sites suggest that these raptors could sprint quickly, perhaps comparable to modern-day predatory birds or mammals adapted for high-speed pursuits. This agility would have been critical for ambush attacks, rapid changes in direction, and navigating complex terrain like dense forests or floodplains. Sensory abilities in raptors were advanced for their size. Fossilized skulls reveal large eye sockets and indications of keen binocular vision, important for depth perception, a crucial trait for a predator relying on quick strikes. In addition, evidence suggests well-developed brain regions associated with coordination and sensory input, hinting at a high level of predator awareness and possibly problem-solving skills. Some raptor species also demonstrated feathers, a trait that significantly informs our understanding of their biology. Feathers could serve multiple purposes, aiding in thermoregulation, facilitating silent approach during hunts, or being used for display and social signaling within packs. Such features imply complex social behaviors unknown in larger solitary apex predators like T-Rex. The social hunting hypothesis, long debated, finds support in fossil assemblages where multiple individuals of at least some dromaeosaurids have been found together. This raises the possibility that they hunted cooperatively, allowing them to bring down prey larger than any individual raptor could overpower alone, a strategy echoed in certain modern predators like wolves or lions. Beyond classic raptors, North America's theropod diversity included other swift predatory groups. Troodontids, for example, were small to medium-sized birds like dinosaurs, characterized by high intelligence, inferred from their large brain-to-body size ratios. Their sharp, recurved teeth and grasping hands suggest a diverse diet that possibly included small vertebrates and insects, while their agility would have made them highly effective hunters or opportunistic feeders. Similarly, ornithomimosaurs, nicknamed ostrich dinosaurs due to their long legs and necks, were likely swift, omnivorous, or herbivorous theropods. Their build suggests remarkable speed, perhaps among the fastest of the Mesozoic terrestrial dinosaurs, emphasizing that agility was a crucial survival trait across several predator guilds. The presence of these alongside larger theropods like T-Rex highlights a robust ecosystem where predation strategies were diversified rather than uniform. Each species exploited different prey sizes and habitats, reducing direct competition. Raptors and similar theropods often preyed on smaller animals, juveniles, or scavenged, but their roles as agile hunters and potential pack organisms made them just as formidable in their environment as the bulky carnivores. In the evolutionary arms race that defined these ecosystems, raptors evolved to be the swift, strategic predators whose danger lay not just in size, but in precision, speed, and potentially even intelligence. Their anatomy: lightweight yet strong bones, sharp claws, and sensory adaptations demonstrates a highly refined predatory toolkit. As we continue to explore North America's prehistoric life, our next focus will be on its herbivorous inhabitants, dinosaurs that were far from defenseless. With formidable armor, horns, and social structures, these herbivores developed sophisticated defenses, ensuring that the ecosystem remained a balanced yet perilous theater of survival. Thus, from the expansive strength of the tyrant kings to the swift cunning of the raptors and theropods, North America's late Cretaceous period offers a remarkable window into the evolutionary diversity of dangerous dinosaurs. Understanding these creatures in context expands our appreciation for the complexity and intensity of life during the age of dinosaurs. Transitioning from the swift and cunning predators of North America, we now examine the formidable herbivores that inhabited the same landscapes. Dinosaurs that were not mere passive prey, but creatures equipped with remarkable defensive adaptations and behaviors. These herbivores, including the armored ankylosaurs and the horned ceratopsians like Triceratops, displayed attitudes of resilience and aggression, transforming the prehistoric ecosystems into intense arenas of predator-prey dynamics. Herbivorous dinosaurs faced constant pressure from carnivorous threats and thus evolved a variety of strategies to avoid becoming a meal. North America's late Cretaceous fauna was particularly diverse and competitive, fostering some of the most impressive examples of defensive evolution. These strategies can be broadly grouped into three categories: physical armor and weaponry, social behaviors and herd dynamics, and sensory awareness. Ankylosaurs represent a group of heavily armored dinosaurs, often called the tanks of the Mesozoic. These quadrupedal creatures were covered from head to tail in thick bony plates called osteoderms, embedded in their skin, providing a formidable barrier against bites and slashes. Some species, like Ankylosaurus magniventris, the largest known ankylosaur, sported massive tail clubs composed of fused vertebrae and dense bone. This tail club could deliver powerful, bone-crushing blows to predators, functioning not just as defense, but as an active weapon. Their low-slung, broad bodies made them difficult targets to flip or injure, further enhancing their survivability. The evolutionary success of ankylosaurs reflected a trade-off. Immense defensive capabilities came at the cost of mobility. Their short legs and heavy armor rendered them slow, relying on an impenetrable exterior and passive defenses. Thus, their survival depended on deterring attacks outright or absorbing strikes until the predator reconsidered its choice. Contrasting the ankylosaurs' static defenses were the ceratopsians, best exemplified by the iconic Triceratops. These large, bipedal to quadrupedal herbivores carried an array of formidable horns and a massive bony frill that served multiple defensive purposes. The horns, two large ones above the eyes and a smaller nasal horn, were effective weapons in active confrontations, whether with predators or conspecific rivals. Triceratops's frill, besides possibly serving for species recognition or thermoregulation, acted as protection for the neck, shielding vital arteries and the spinal cord from bite attacks. The bone of the frill could be thick and robust, capable of absorbing significant impacts. Social behavior in ceratopsians is inferred from bone beds containing multiple individuals, suggesting herd living. Herding increased vigilance against predators and allowed young or vulnerable members to be protected collectively. Herd dynamics also contributed to the intimidation factor. The charging of multiple large, horned dinosaurs would be a formidable deterrent. Beyond physical defenses, these herbivores possessed keen sensory adaptations. Large olfactory bulbs and good vision would alert them to predators at a distance, allowing them to prepare or flee where possible. Their hearing likely played a role as well in detecting threats or coordinating group behavior. Another notable group includes hadrosaurs, or duck-billed dinosaurs, who compensated for a lack of heavy armor with speed, agility, and herd behavior. Their sophisticated dental batteries allowed them to efficiently process tough vegetation, supporting the large herds that could overwhelm predators through sheer numbers. Meanwhile, some herbivores adopted parasitic or mimicry defenses. Variation in coloration and possible display structures, such as crests or frills, could have functioned to confuse or warn off predators. Understanding these herbivorous adaptations clarifies that danger in the Mesozoic was more than just predator power. It was a complex, reciprocal relationship. The survival strategies of prey pushed predators to become more efficient hunters, which in turn drove prey to develop better defenses in an evolutionary arms race. As we proceed, these armored and attitudinal herbivores frame the ecosystem backdrop against which apex predators like Tyrannosaurus rex and the swift raptors operated. Their defensive innovations shaped predator behavior, hunting success rates, and the overall balance of Mesozoic life. Next, we will journey southward to explore South America, a land of towering giants and exotic predators that rivaled even the legendary tyrant kings of North America. As we leave behind the well-studied terrains of North America, our journey takes us to South America, a continent that, during the Mesozoic, was part of the sprawling southern supercontinent Gondwana. South America's dinosaurian history is legendary, filled with colossal creatures that towered above the landscape and insatiable predators that rivaled the famous tyrant kings of the north. This land was truly a domain where giants roamed and unique killers stalked, creating an ecosystem teeming with both breathtaking size and deadly specialization. South America during the Cretaceous period presented a dramatically different environment compared to its northern counterpart. The continent was largely isolated following Gondwana's gradual breakup, which began around 180 million years ago and intensified during the late Cretaceous. This prolonged isolation became an evolutionary crucible, fostering the emergence of distinctive dinosaur lines that often reached unparalleled sizes and possessed unusual adaptations. Among herbivores, the continent was renowned for its titanosaurs, massive, long-necked sauropods that included some of the largest land animals ever to walk the earth. Giganotosaurus, for example, arguably one of the heaviest known dinosaurs, is estimated to have weighed up to 100 tons and stretched beyond 100 feet in length. These colossal giants rivaled or exceeded the European and North American sauropods in sheer magnitude, shaping the continent's flora and predator-prey dynamics in profound ways. The presence of such titanic herbivores necessitated an equally formidable cadre of predators able to challenge their immense bulk. Herein lies one of South America's unique distinctions: the evolution of gigantic theropods that could rival or even surpass Tyrannosaurus rex in size and power. Foremost among them were Giganotosaurus and its relatives, such as Mapusaurus. Giganotosaurus carolini is a colossal carnivore dating to around 98 million years ago, living in what is now Patagonia. It measured approximately 40 to 43 feet long and could weigh as much as 8 to 10 tons. Its anatomy revealed adaptations for hunting massive prey, including robust hind limbs for powerful strides, a skull designed for delivering bone-crushing bites, and serrated teeth optimized for slicing through flesh. Remarkably, in some reconstructions, Giganotosaurus rivals or exceeds T. rex in length, though it was generally lighter and more adapted for speed. Mapusaurus, closely related to Giganotosaurus, may have been among the first large theropods to exhibit some evidence of pack-hunting behavior. Fossil sites containing multiple individuals suggest possible social dynamics that could have allowed them to take down enormous sauropods more effectively, an evolutionary strategy echoing the social hunting theorized for some North American raptors. South America's predatory landscape was further diversified by the presence of abelisaurids, a family distinct from the more famous tyrannosaurids. Carnotaurus sastrae, famous for its distinct bull-like horns above the eyes and extremely reduced forelimbs, stood out as an unusual predator. Weighing approximately 1.5 to 2 tons and reaching lengths of about 25 to 30 feet, Carnotaurus was likely a fast-moving hunter, employing speed and these formidable horns possibly for combat with prey or rivals. Its lightweight skull and muscular build hint at a predator adapted to swift, precise attacks rather than brute force. These abelisaurids flourished in the varied environments of South America, ranging from dry inland regions to lush forests. Other lesser-known species in this group, with varying sizes and adaptations, underscore the diversity and innovation occurring in southern predator guilds during the late Cretaceous. The interplay between these apex predators and their prey was shaped by South America's rich and sometimes extreme ecosystems. The presence of gigantic titanosaurs provided both a source of sustenance and an ecological pressure for predators to evolve unique hunting tactics and robust physiques. The arms race between predator and prey defined this ancient land, culminating in fierce battles preserved within the fossil record. Furthermore, South America's unique geological history influenced this evolutionary bounty. Its separation from Africa, Antarctica, and other Gondwanan fragments limited faunal exchange, allowing endemic species to evolve with little outside competition. This isolation fostered the emergence of dinosaurian lineages with traits unseen elsewhere, such as the hypertrophied horns of Carnotaurus or the immense size of Giganotosaurus. The discovery of these dinosaurs, primarily in Patagonia's rich fossil sites, has provided invaluable insights into the nature of predator-prey dynamics on a landmass apart from North America and Eurasia. They demonstrate that danger had a distinctly different flavor here, marked by swift, uniquely equipped hunters and gargantuan herbivores whose scale was nearly unparalleled in the fossil record. This combination of size and specialization, balanced by complex ecological interactions, makes South America a critical chapter in understanding the global story of dinosaur danger. Our next exploration will delve deeper into these southern predators, including Carnotaurus and its abelisaurid kin, examining how their unusual anatomy and hunting strategies challenged assumptions about dinosaur predation. Thus, South America stands as a testament to the evolutionary creativity born of isolation and environmental pressure, where giants ruled and killers developed unparalleled adaptations in the ancient dance of death and survival. Continuing our exploration of South America's formidable predators, we now delve into two of the continent's most impressive theropods, Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus. These colossal hunters not only challenge the long-standing reputation of Tyrannosaurus rex as the undisputed apex predator, but also represent fascinating evolutionary experiments in gigantism and hunting strategy during the late Cretaceous. By examining their anatomy, behaviors, and ecological contexts, we gain a deeper understanding of how these challengers of the tyrant kings thrived in their ancient world. Giganotosaurus carolini is among the largest carnivorous dinosaurs ever discovered, estimated to have lived approximately 98 million years ago in what is now Patagonia, Argentina. This giant reached lengths of around 40 to 43 feet, 12 to 13 meters, and weighed up to 8 to 10 tons. This size rivals or even exceeds estimates for many specimens of Tyrannosaurus rex, though their builds differ subtly. While T-Rex was more robust, Giganotosaurus had a somewhat lighter frame potentially adapted for greater speed. The skull of Giganotosaurus was large and elongated, with a narrow snout housing sharp serrated teeth adapted to slicing through flesh. Unlike T-Rex's thick, bone-crushing teeth, Giganotosaurus's dental anatomy suggests a shearing bite designed to inflict deep wounds rather than crush bone outright. This style of predation may indicate different hunting or feeding strategies, focusing on inflicting bleeding wounds to weaken prey. In terms of locomotion, Giganotosaurus likely possessed strong hind limbs capable of generating bursts of speed sufficient to pursue large prey over short distances. Its tail was muscular and stiffened, providing balance and agility. Such capabilities would have been essential when facing the massive sauropods that roamed South America, particularly titanosaurs like Argentinosaurus, which could reach truly staggering sizes. Mapusaurus rosae, a close relative and one of the best-known abelisaurids, adds another intriguing dimension to South America's predator roster. Discovered in the same general region and time period as Giganotosaurus, fossils include multiple individuals of varying ages, hinting at possible social behavior or pack dynamics not definitively observed in other large theropods. Mapusaurus was somewhat smaller than Giganotosaurus, reaching lengths around 35 to 40 feet, 10.5 to 12 meters, and weights estimated at 5 to 7 tons. Like Giganotosaurus, its skull was equipped for slicing flesh with serrated teeth, and studies suggest it was a fast and agile hunter. The discovery of multiple Mapusaurus individuals in one site raised the hypothesis that they may have hunted cooperatively, working as a pack to bring down enormous prey, such as the titanosaurs dominating their environment. The idea of pack hunting among giant theropods like Mapusaurus challenges traditional views of these creatures as solitary predators. Cooperative behavior would have improved hunting success rates against massive herbivores, especially in a landscape where predator and prey were titanic. Such social hunting would also imply more complex communication and possibly social structures within these species. Both Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus shared their habitats with a variety of large herbivorous dinosaurs, including massive titanosaurs and armored species. The presence of such prey certainly influenced their evolution, pushing these predators toward developing the size, strength, and possibly group tactics necessary to overcome formidable defenses. Importantly, these giants of South America underscore the diversity of predatory strategies in the late Cretaceous. While Tyrannosaurus rex symbolized brute force with bone-crushing power concentrated in the north, Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus embodied a different model: speed, slicing attacks, and perhaps social cooperation in the south. These differences reflect the varied ecological pressures and evolutionary pathways shaped by the continent's isolation during this period. South America was a land where giants pushed the limits of size and where predators experimented with unique tactics to maintain their dominance. In the grand narrative of dinosaur danger, Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus compel us to broaden our perspective beyond the familiar and appreciate the rich complexity of predator evolution on different continents. They remain living symbols of the diverse and deadly world that existed long before humans ever walked the earth. Next, we will explore another unique group of Southern Hemisphere predators, the Carnotaurus and other abelisaurids, whose unusual anatomy and hunting methods further reveal the varied faces of dinosaur danger in Gondwana. Continuing our exploration of South America's ancient predators, we now focus on one of the most distinctive and intriguing members of the abelisaurid family, Carnotaurus, along with its relatives that dominated the southern continents during the late Cretaceous. These unusual predators embody a unique evolutionary path, setting themselves apart with remarkable anatomical features and hunting adaptations that differ greatly from their northern cousin, Tyrannosaurus rex. Their presence highlights the diversity of dinosaur danger in the southern hemisphere and the innovative evolutionary experiments that arose in Gondwana. Carnotaurus sastrae, discovered in the rocky badlands of Patagonia, Argentina, is arguably the most famous abelisaurid. What immediately distinguishes Carnotaurus is its striking skull morphology: two pronounced bull-like horns above the eyes, a slender, lightly built skull, and a jaw that, contrary to many theropods, appears adapted for swift, precise bites rather than bone-crushing force. The combination of these features gives Carnotaurus an almost otherworldly appearance, reflecting evolutionary pressures unique to its environment. Measuring around 25 to 30 feet, 7.5 to 9 meters in length, and weighing approximately 1.5 to 2 tons, Carnotaurus was a relatively lightly built predator compared to the titans of South America. Its limbs were long and muscular, especially the hind legs, suggesting that it was capable of remarkable speeds. Some estimates propose it could run up to 30 to 40 miles per hour, 48 to 64 kilometers per hour. This agility would have made Carnotaurus an effective pursuit predator, well suited for chasing down faster or more elusive prey. One of the abelisaurids' most fascinating characteristics is their vestigial forelimbs. Carnotaurus possessed some of the smallest arms ever found in large theropods, extremely reduced, with very limited mobility and tiny hands. The precise function of these forelimbs remains debated, but their reduced size indicates that unlike other theropods, such as tyrannosaurids with somewhat functional arms, abelisaurids relied mostly on their jaws and powerful neck muscles for capturing and subduing prey. The skull and jaw construction further supports a hunting strategy focused on fast strikes to vulnerable or soft tissues rather than traumatic, bone-crushing bites. Such tactics may have included swift snapping attacks aimed at the neck or flanks of prey animals, possibly combined with slashing from their feet's sharp claws. This style suggests an active, predatory lifestyle, highlighting a different approach to dominance compared to the brute force employed by larger theropods. Abelisaurids were widespread throughout Gondwana, with fossils found not only in South America, but also Africa, India, and Madagascar, underscoring their evolutionary success across various southern land masses. Their distribution reflects the continental breakup of Gondwana and the resulting geographic isolation that encouraged diversification. These differing ecosystems pressured abelisaurids to adapt to multiple niches, resulting in variations in size, skull shape, and hunting behaviors. In Africa, for instance, species like Rugops and Majungasaurus showed variations on the abelisaurid theme. Majungasaurus, hailing from Madagascar, is noted for having the thickest skull roof among its family, possibly used in headbutting or ritual combat, and evidence of cannibalism, suggesting complex ecological interactions and possibly aggressive social behaviors. Moreover, abelisaurid bone structure reveals adaptations for powerful neck muscles and a skull designed to absorb stresses from rapid bites and pounding, enhancing their ability to seize struggling prey. Their unique, robust vertebrae and limb proportions enhance this image of a hyper-adapted predator specialized for quick bursts of speed and powerful head strikes. On the defensive side, many abelisaurids shared their habitats with large armored herbivores and titanosaurs, which likely influenced their hunting strategies. The need to skillfully exploit weaknesses and avoid prolonged confrontations with massive prey required intelligence, agility, and precision. This complex and unique predatory evolution of abelisaurids like Carnotaurus broadens the notion of what constituted danger among dinosaurs. They were not simply larger or more brutish predators. They epitomized a different kind of lethal efficiency, shaped by their particular environment and evolutionary history. Their survival and success until the very end of the Cretaceous period attest to their adaptability and effectiveness as hunters. Abelisaurids enrich our understanding of dinosaur diversity and underscore the impressive variety of evolutionary paths taken across the prehistoric globe. As we proceed, we will explore how these unique predators fit into the broader ecosystem wars of their time, particularly the ongoing dynamic between sprightly sauropods, staggering titanosaurs, and the predator-prey arms race that defined the Mesozoic world in the southern hemisphere. As we delve deeper into the prehistoric landscapes shaped by the titans of South America, our focus now shifts to a cataclysmic drama that played out across millions of years. The ongoing ecosystem wars between gargantuan herbivores, sauropods and titanosaurs, and the deadly predators that sought to hunt them. These interactions provide an extraordinary window into the predator-prey dynamics that defined much of the Mesozoic and shaped the evolutionary arms race, where survival hinged on strength, strategy, and adaptation. Sauropods, those colossal, long-necked, four-legged herbivores, are among the most iconic of the dinosaurs. Their enormous size, often dwarfing nearly all other animals in their environment, provided both advantages and challenges. In North America, Europe, and Asia, sauropods thrived particularly in the Jurassic and early Cretaceous periods. However, in the southern continents such as South America, Africa, and parts of Gondwana, their distant relatives, the titanosaurs, became the dominant sauropods throughout the late Cretaceous. Titanosaurs were remarkable for their incredible size and diversity. Many, like Argentinosaurus and Patagotitan, were among the largest land animals to have ever lived, reaching weights estimated at up to 70 to 100 tons and lengths exceeding 100 feet. Their long necks and massive bodies allowed them to forage widely, from high canopies down to near-ground low vegetation. These enormous herbivores were ecological powerhouses, shaping the vegetation and competitive landscape of their habitats. Such overwhelming bodies, however, did not render titanosaurs invulnerable. Predators evolved alongside and against these giants, adapting for specialized hunting strategies. Large theropods, Giganotosaurus, Mapusaurus, and South America's unique abelisaurids, emerged as apex hunters capable of challenging even the mightiest titanosaurs. The predator-prey relationships in these ecosystems were marked by continuous adaptations. Thicker armor and larger size in sauropods met with increased speed, coordination, and predatory tactics in their hunters. The sheer size of titanosaurs presented a formidable challenge. Adult titanosaurs likely confronted predators with colossal mass and possibly toughened skin or osteoderms, bony plates embedded in the skin that provided an extra layer of defense. Juvenile titanosaurs, much smaller and more vulnerable, would have been the preferred targets for predators. This dynamic likely drove ecological pressures for group behavior or nesting colonies, where social protection enhanced offspring survival. Fossil evidence, including mass death assemblages, multiple predator tooth marks on sauropod bones, and sedimentary contexts hinting at predation events, support the picture of intense ecological battles. Such evidence suggests that predators not only scavenged, but actively hunted these giants, sometimes coordinating as groups, a hypothesis supported by fossil sites where multiple large theropod remains occur alongside sauropod remains. Biological weapons of defense among titanosaurs extended beyond size and armor. Some evidence suggests they utilized tails as defensive clubs or whips to fend off attackers, reflections of a complex survival arsenal. In addition, their long necks may have functioned both as feeding tools and defensive strikes. On the predatory side, these enormous herbivores demanded substantial energy to take down. Hence, predatory dinosaurs evolved traits that complemented their prey's defenses: enhanced speed for ambush, pack tactics to overwhelm, powerful jaws for inflicting crippling injuries, and heightened intelligence that may have aided in planning attacks. For instance, among South American theropods, the suggested pack behavior of Mapusaurus could have been a response to the challenge posed by such massive prey. This predator-prey game wasn't limited to direct combat, but included psychological and ecological strategies. Herbivores might have relied on herd cohesion to confuse or intimidate predators, while predators adapted stalking, camouflage, or nocturnal hunting tactics. The evolutionary arms race drove continuous escalations, pushing both sides toward more elaborate adaptations. Furthermore, the Mesozoic vegetation and climate played indispensable roles in this dynamic. The abundance of lush flora supported high biomass herbivore populations, sustaining large predator numbers and fueling this complex ecosystem balance. Changes in climate or environment could swiftly tip this balance, influencing dinosaur diversity and the prevalence of dangerous species. Understanding these prehistoric ecosystem wars adds profound depth to our grasp of Dinosauria's ecology, illustrating that danger was not merely a function of individual predators, but a multifaceted interaction between massive species. These battles between titanosaurs and their hunters exemplify the primal struggle for survival, adaptation, and eventual dominance on shifting landscapes. As our exploration continues, we will journey next to the African continent, a land once home to the enigmatic and aquatic Spinosaurus and the fierce Carcharodontosaurus, unique predators that reveal yet another dimension of dinosaur danger shaped by their environment and evolution. As our journey progresses from the vast southern lands of South America, we now turn to Africa, an ancient continent with a dinosaurian legacy, both enigmatic and compelling. Known for its mysterious and often fragmented fossil record, Africa's Mesozoic past unveils a lost world where some of the most unusual and dangerous predators thrived. Chief among these are the legendary Spinosaurus and the formidable Carcharodontosaurus, creatures that not only dominated their ecosystems, but also challenged the traditional paradigms of terrestrial predation. Africa's positioning during the Mesozoic was critical to its dinosaurian story. As part of the southern supercontinent Gondwana, Africa remained largely isolated for much of the late Cretaceous, separated from South America, Antarctica, and other land masses. This isolation fostered unique evolutionary pathways, shaping ecosystems filled with endemic species whose adaptations reflected the continent's climatic and environmental dynamics. Among the most extraordinary creatures to emerge from Africa's fossil beds is Spinosaurus aegyptiacus, arguably one of the most bizarre and fascinating theropods ever discovered. Living approximately 100 to 93 million years ago, in what is now northern Africa's lush river systems and coastal floodplains, Spinosaurus pushed the boundaries of dinosaur morphology and lifestyle. What sets Spinosaurus apart is its suite of adaptations for a semi-aquatic existence, a rarity among large theropods, which are almost exclusively terrestrial. Its elongated neural spines formed a striking sail-like structure along the back, possibly used for thermoregulation, display, or species recognition. Notably, Spinosaurus had a crocodile-like skull, with conical teeth adept for grasping slippery prey such as fish, marking it as a specialized piscivore. Distinct from most theropods, Spinosaurus had robust forelimbs equipped with large, curved claws, likely used for fishing or grasping aquatic prey. Its hind limbs were shorter and more paddle-like compared to other theropods, and fossil evidence points to dense limb bones aiding buoyancy control, functional traits for an aquatic or semi-aquatic lifestyle. This combination of traits suggests that Spinosaurus hunted primarily in river systems and shallow seas, making it potentially the first known dinosaur adapted to a predominantly piscivorous diet. This niche exploitation drastically contrasts with the terrestrial apex predation seen in other large theropods, placing Spinosaurus in a category of its own regarding hunting strategy and danger. Alongside Spinosaurus, Africa hosted a suite of large predatory dinosaurs within the family Carcharodontosauridae. Carcharodontosaurus saharicus, sometimes called the shark-toothed lizard, lived contemporaneously and occupied the classic role of an apex terrestrial predator. Measuring up to 40 feet in length and weighing an estimated 6 to 8 tons, Carcharodontosaurus possessed enormous jaws filled with serrated teeth, designed for slicing flesh with devastating efficiency. Unlike the aquatic specialist Spinosaurus, Carcharodontosaurus was built for terrestrial power. Its skull was long but narrower than that of Tyrannosaurus, with proportionally longer teeth optimized for inflicting deep, fatal wounds rather than bone crushing. This hunting style may have been adapted for chasing down large herbivorous dinosaurs such as sauropods and ornithopods roaming the African floodplains. The coexistence of Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus paints a vivid picture of niche partitioning. The way two large carnivores can inhabit overlapping territories by exploiting different resources and hunting strategies. While Carcharodontosaurus dominated the land, preying on terrestrial herbivores, Spinosaurus excelled in aquatic environments, reducing direct competition and promoting ecosystem diversity. Fossil sites such as the Bahariya Formation in Egypt and the Kim-Kem beds of Morocco have yielded crucial specimens, offering glimpses into this lost world. However, Africa's fossil record remains relatively sparse and fragmentary compared to other continents, leaving many questions about the precise interactions and ecology of its dinosaurs unanswered. Additionally, other notable African carnivores, like the slightly smaller but robustly built Deltadromeus, occupied middle-tier predator niches, engaging in a complex predator guild where different species adapted to various prey and hunting styles. This dynamic assemblage reflects rich and competitive ecosystems, with danger permeating all levels. The African Mesozoic environment, with its vast river systems, coastal plains, and semi-arid regions, shaped these extraordinary predators' evolution, showcasing how geography and ecology can drive diversification and specialization. The contrasting lifestyles of Spinosaurus and Carcharodontosaurus exemplify the adaptive breadth dinosaurs achieved to dominate their respective niches. Exploring Africa's lost dinosaur world reminds us that danger among dinosaurs was not singular or universal, but varied widely according to habitat, available prey, and evolutionary opportunities. Spinosaurus's aquatic ambush tactics and Carcharodontosaurus's terrestrial might both represent apex predatory adaptations forged in the crucible of their environment. As we continue, we will delve deeper into the predators of the Nile and their watery dominion, followed by examining the broader arms race among African carnivores that shaped their fierce and fascinating prehistoric ecosystem. Continuing our journey through Africa's prehistoric landscapes, we now plunge into the watery realm of the Nile's ancient predators, focusing on the enigmatic and formidable Spinosaurus, the aquatic menace that redefined the limits of dinosaurian predation. Spinosaurus aegyptiacus stands not only as one of the largest carnivorous dinosaurs ever discovered, but also as a pioneer in the evolutionary shift toward semi-aquatic lifestyles, challenging our traditional perceptions of dinosaur ecology and danger. Spinosaurus lived approximately 100 to 93 million years ago during the mid-Cretaceous period in what today comprises the vast river systems and coastal floodplains of North Africa. This period was characterized by a warm climate and complex networks of waterways teeming with fish, crocodilians, and other aquatic life forms. Spinosaurus evolved adaptations that allowed it to exploit these watery environments in ways few other large theropods could. Measuring up to an astonishing 50 to 59 feet, 15 to 18 meters in length, and weighing an estimated 7 to 20 tons, Spinosaurus was a true behemoth. Its most striking feature, the elongated neural spines projecting from its vertebrae, formed a distinctive sail or ridge along its back. Though the exact function remains debated, hypotheses suggest roles in thermoregulation, species recognition, or mating displays. Unlike typical theropods, Spinosaurus possessed a long, narrow skull remarkably similar to that of modern crocodilians. Its jaws were lined with conical, non-serrated teeth, ideal for piercing and firmly grasping slippery prey rather than slicing flesh. This dental morphology, combined with pressure-sensitive neurovascular structures akin to those found in crocodiles, indicates a specialized piscivorous diet. Further evidence of its aquatic adaptations includes robust forelimbs with powerful claws possibly used to catch fish or grip slippery prey, as well as dense limb bones aiding in buoyancy control and paddle-like feet contributing to swimming prowess. Recent fossil discoveries also reveal that Spinosaurus had relatively short hind limbs compared to its body size, a trait unique among large theropods, suggesting it spent considerable time wading through or swimming in rivers and lakes. Environmental reconstructions place Spinosaurus alongside an ecosystem rich in large fish species, such as the giant coelacanth and mausoneid, along with crocodiliforms and other aquatic organisms, painting a picture of a predator perfectly adapted to a semi-aquatic niche. Spinosaurus's hunting strategy likely involved stealthy stalking along riverbanks, rapid strikes in the water, and perhaps even active swimming to pursue fish or aquatic reptiles. This dual life, half terrestrial hunter, half aquatic predator, made it a unique and formidable menace in its environment, potentially dominating both land and water. Beyond its dietary specialization, Spinosaurus's enormous size and powerful build deterred competition, positioning it at the top of its food chain. Unlike land-only apex predators such as Giganotosaurus, which hunted terrestrial prey, Spinosaurus carved out a distinct niche, minimizing direct confrontations with other large carnivores. However, Spinosaurus was not solitary in its domain. Its habitat also hosted other apex predators occupying different ecological roles, adding layers of complexity to prehistoric predator dynamics along the ancient Nile. The discovery and study of Spinosaurus have revolutionized paleontology's understanding of dinosaur biology, ecology, and behavior. Its combination of aquatic adaptations and colossal size challenges long-held ideas about dinosaurs as strictly terrestrial and underscores the diversity of evolutionary solutions to survival. In summation, Spinosaurus represents an apex predator of unparalleled specialization, a true aquatic menace whose legacy broadens our appreciation of the multifaceted nature of danger in the dinosaur world. Our next exploration will investigate the broader competition among African carnivores, including Deltadromeus and Rugops, to understand the evolutionary arms race that forged some of the most lethal dinosaur guilds known to science. Building upon our exploration of Africa's aquatic menace, Spinosaurus, we now shift our focus to the broader spectrum of African carnivores that engaged in a fierce evolutionary arms race during the late Cretaceous. This contest of survival featured apex and mesopredators such as Deltadromeus and Rugops, whose adaptations and ecological interactions reveal a dynamic landscape of competition, specialization, and fierce predation that shaped the African dinosaur ecosystems. Deltadromeus agilis, discovered primarily in the Kem beds of Morocco, is known for its slender build and remarkable agility, traits that distinguish it among large theropods. Measuring approximately 20 to 26 feet, 6 to 8 meters in length, Deltadromeus was a fast and nimble predator. Its long legs and lightweight body implied the ability for swift pursuit, adept at chasing down smaller or more agile prey, lacking the bulk of giant herbivores. Though less massive than giants like Spinosaurus or Carcharodontosaurus, Deltadromeus's blend of speed and size allowed it to carve out a significant carnivorous niche in the ecosystem. Its skull, while not as well preserved as other theropods, suggests powerful jaws furnished with sharp, serrated teeth capable of slicing flesh effectively. Such adaptations point toward a versatile hunter, one that could exploit a variety of prey, including juvenile dinosaurs, smaller vertebrates, and carrion. Rugops primus, another fascinating theropod from the same geologic formations, presented a more heavily built form. Measuring roughly 20 to 23 feet long, Rugops had a shorter, more robust skull with a heavily textured or rugose surface, hence its name. This facial texture may have supported thick skin or keratinous coverings, possibly used for display, camouflage, or protection during confrontations. Rugops is classified within the abelosaurid family and is notable for its relatively weaker bite compared to other large carnivores, implying that it may have relied more on stealth, scavenging, or opportunistic feeding rather than engaging in outright confrontations with large prey. This strategy would complement the presence of larger apex predators, allowing rugops to persist in the same habitats without direct competition. The coexistence of these diverse theropod species illustrates an intricate predator guild where various sizes, speeds, and hunting methods fueled a constant evolutionary arms race. Competition for food sources was intense, driving predators to specialize in particular niches or innovate new hunting strategies. In this context, larger carnivores like Spinosaurus dominated aquatic or semi-aquatic prey, while carcharodontosaurids such as Carcharodontosaurus, another apex predator we examined earlier, targeted large terrestrial herbivores. Mid-sized theropods like Deltadromeus and Rugops occupied roles as both predators of smaller prey and scavengers, where flexibility and adaptability were key to survival. This predator diversity also exerted pressure on herbivorous dinosaurs, which developed varied defense mechanisms and social behaviors in response to threats from multiple fronts, a testament to the reciprocal nature of evolutionary competition. The African late Cretaceous dinosaur fauna, with its complex web of apex and mesopredator dynamics, underscores the continent's unique place in the Mesozoic world, a place where evolutionary innovation was driven by fierce competition and ecological opportunity. Understanding this arms race enriches our broader comprehension of dinosaur ecology and the diversity of strategies these creatures employed to dominate or survive within their ecosystems. Our exploration now prepares to journey across continents, venturing into Asia, the realm of feathers and claws, where yet another cast of dangerous dinosaurs awaited their moment to shape history. As we leave behind the African continent's unique and perilous ecosystems, we now turn our attention to Asia, a vast and diverse realm where some of the most fascinating and enigmatic dinosaurs ever discovered roamed. Asia, particularly during the late Cretaceous, was a hotbed of evolutionary innovation, notable for the prevalence of feathered dinosaurs and the development of sharp claws and sophisticated predatory adaptations. This realm, often depicted as the land of feathers and claws, provides us with incredible insights into dinosaur diversity, behavior, and evolution. One of the most remarkable aspects of Asian dinosaurs is the rich fossil record revealing extensive evidence of feathers and proto-feathers across various theropod groups. This discovery has fundamentally changed our understanding of dinosaur biology, indicating that feathers were widespread among predatory dinosaurs well before the evolution of modern birds. Fossil sites in China's Liaoning province, particularly the Jehol biota, have unearthed exquisitely preserved fossils of feathered dinosaurs, ranging from small bird-like species to medium-sized predators, highlighting the significance of feathers for insulation, camouflage, social display, or even gliding. Asia was home to diverse theropods, including members of the Tyrannosaur family, such as Tarbosaurus, which shared many traits with its North American cousin, Tyrannosaurus rex. However, unlike the latter, Asian tyrannosaurs appear to coexist with multiple other types of theropods and feathered species, enriching the predator guilds. Smaller dromaeosaurids, the classic raptors, flourished here, renowned for their sickle-shaped claws and presumed pack-hunting behaviors. The velociraptor, immortalized in popular culture, was a prime example, yet fossils indicate it was covered with feathers, emphasizing its avian connections. Its lightweight body, sharp claws, and acute intelligence made it a terrifying hunter in the desert and steppe environments of the Gobi Desert. Furthermore, the discovery of Microraptor, a small four-winged feathered dinosaur, showcases the diversity of flight and gliding adaptations among Asian theropods, blurring lines between dinosaurs and birds. Another fascinating aspect of Asian dinosaur paleontology lies in the enigmatic troodontids, theropods known for notably large brain-to-body ratios, suggesting heightened intelligence. Their keen senses and agility likely made them effective hunters or scavengers. These traits underscore the rise of cognition as an evolutionary advantage in predator survival. Asia's geography during the Mesozoic was characterized by vast inland basins, desert landscapes, and warmer, more arid climates in many regions, punctuated by lush forested zones near ancient lakes and river systems. Such environmental diversity fostered niche differentiation, enabling an array of predators specialized for various habitats and prey. In the Mongolian Badlands, sites like the Flaming Cliffs have yielded remarkable fossil discoveries, including Tarbosaurus, Alioramus, and numerous dromaeosaurids, revealing an ecosystem teeming with danger. These theropods interacted with a diverse array of herbivorous dinosaurs, such as protoceratopsians, hadrosaurs, and oviraptorids, producing dynamic predator-prey interactions. The feathers and claws of these dinosaurs not only served practical functions, but likely played roles in communication, mating displays, and complex social behaviors, aspects that modern research continues to unravel. This adds layers of behavioral complexity to the danger these creatures posed, indicating that intelligence and communication were as critical as physical prowess. Importantly, Asian dinosaur fossils also document mass extinction events and ecological turnovers, clues to how changing climates and environments influenced the rise and fall of predatory lineages. These events paved the way for new predators adapted to emerging habitats, emphasizing the relentless evolutionary dance between survival and extinction. The realm of feathers and claws in Asia, therefore, offers a unique window into the evolutionary experimentation that defined dinosaur predation's multifaceted nature. From feathered hunters capable of flight or gliding to intelligent pack predators wielding deadly claws, Asia's dinosaur fauna showcases some of the most diverse and sophisticated examples of danger in the Mesozoic world. As we continue, we will delve deeper into the specific species that inhabited the Mongolian Badlands, such as Tarbosaurus and Alioramus, uncovering their anatomical adaptations and hunting behaviors that underscore Asia's distinct contribution to the story of dangerous dinosaurs. Venturing deeper into the captivating landscapes of Asia, we arrive at the Mongolian Badlands, an ancient world fossilized in time and rich with examples of some of the fiercest and most enigmatic predators the Earth has ever seen. Here, two formidable theropods, Tarbosaurus and Alioramus, stood at the apex of their ecosystems, exemplifying the dramatic variations in size, hunting strategy, and adaptation that characterized the dinosaur fauna of this region. Tarbosaurus bataar, often regarded as the Asian counterpart to the famous North American Tyrannosaurus rex, was the apex predator of the late Cretaceous ecosystems in Mongolia about 70 million years ago. Sharing close genetic and anatomical affinities with T. rex, Tarbosaurus displayed a massive, robust body, powerful jaws, and massive teeth designed for bone-crushing and slicing flesh. However, it presented a more slender build and a narrower skull than its western cousin, adaptations that may reflect differences in prey availability and hunting techniques. Measuring up to 33 to 40 feet, 10 to 12 meters, in length and weighing approximately 5 to 7 tons, Tarbosaurus was a dominant predator in the arid and semi-arid environments of the Gobi Desert. Fossil remains indicate powerful hind limbs capable of propelling Tarbosaurus over moderate distances, while its keen senses, inferred from skull morphology, granted exceptional eyesight and olfaction, key characteristics for tracking and ambushing large herbivores like hadrosaurs and ceratopsians. Alioramus, comparatively smaller and more lightly built, provides an intriguing contrast. Known from more fragmentary fossils, Alioramus measured about 20 to 26 feet, 6 to 8 meters in length, and had a more elongated, narrow skull, adorned with multiple small bony bumps or tubercles. This distinct cranial ornamentation could have served multiple functions, possibly related to display or species recognition within the dense dinosaur ecosystems of the region. Though smaller, Alioramus was likely a swift and agile predator, specializing in hunting different prey than the larger Tarbosaurus, perhaps focusing more on smaller or juvenile dinosaurs. Its narrower snout and lighter frame might have enhanced speed and maneuverability, essential for stalking or chasing down quicker prey like oviraptorids or small ornithischians. The Mongolian Badlands recall ancient river deltas, floodplains, and semi-desert ecosystems that formed a harsh yet abundant environment, fostering diverse dinosaur communities. Here, the dinosaurian arms race flourished. Predators competed not only with prey, but among themselves. The coexistence of large predators like Tarbosaurus alongside medium-sized hunters like Alioramus indicates niche partitioning that reduced direct competition and promoted biodiversity. Fossil evidence from sites such as the famous Nemegt Formation reveals complex ecological webs. The abundance of different theropod species meant that pack hunting, scavenging, territorial disputes, and intricate behavioral interactions shaped the roles these dinosaurs played. It is speculated that Tarbosaurus may have hunted both alone and in pairs or small groups, using brute strength combined with strategic hunting to bring down formidable prey. Meanwhile, the smaller Alioramus, with its specialized features, could exploit opportunities unavailable to larger carnivores, highlighting the importance of diverse hunting strategies within predator guilds. Together, Tarbosaurus and Alioramus embody the diversity and adaptability of Asian theropods, shaped by unique environmental pressures and competition. Their fossilized remains offer unparalleled insight into predator-prey dynamics, the evolution of theropod predators, and the complex behaviors that made the Mongolian Badlands one of the most dangerous places to live during the Cretaceous. Our exploration of this fierce ecosystem primes us for the next chapter, as we examine Velociraptor and its pack-hunting mythos, unraveling the intricacies of group hunting, intelligence, and cooperation among some of the swiftest and deadliest dinosaurs known to science. Moving from the towering predators of the Mongolian Badlands, we turn our gaze to one of the most iconic and misunderstood dinosaurs in the popular imagination: Velociraptor. This small but deadly predator has been immortalized in films and literature as a cunning pack hunter. And while much of this mythos is embellished, it has roots in fascinating fossil evidence and scientific discoveries that reveal the complex behavior and capabilities of this fearsome dinosaur. Velociraptor mongoliensis lived during the late Cretaceous period, approximately 75 to 71 million years ago, primarily in Mongolia's arid desert regions. Measuring about 6 to 7 feet in length and standing roughly 1.6 feet tall at the hips, Velociraptor was relatively small compared to the giants of its time. However, its size belied its dangerous nature, as it was equipped with several anatomical adaptations that made it a formidable predator. One of Velociraptor's most notable features was the enlarged sickle-shaped claw on the second toe of each foot. These claws, curved and sharp, were likely used to grasp, slash, or pin down prey. Coupled with its lightweight but sturdy build, strong hind legs for quick sprints, and sharp serrated teeth, Velociraptor was well suited for hunting agile prey, such as smaller dinosaurs, lizards, and mammals. The question of whether Velociraptor hunted in packs has fascinated scientists and the public alike. While direct evidence for cooperative pack hunting in extinct animals is rare, several fossil sites offer tantalizing hints. For example, fossils have been found where multiple dromaeosaurids, close relatives of Velociraptor, are associated with remains of larger prey, suggesting coordinated hunting behavior, or at least social interaction. Further support for social behaviors comes from studies of brain size and complexity. Velociraptor had a relatively large brain for its body size, especially in areas associated with sensory input and motor control, implying higher cognitive functions that could support complex behavior, such as communication or coordinated hunting tactics. Feather impressions found in related species indicate Velociraptor was feathered, which may have aided in balance and agility. Feathers also play a vital role in communication among modern birds, suggesting potential for social signaling in these dinosaurs. The image of Velociraptor as a relentless and intelligent pack hunter is likely an amalgamation of fossil evidence, biomechanical modeling, and extrapolation from modern analogues such as wolves or birds of prey. While it may not have hunted in highly organized packs like some modern mammals, Velociraptor most likely engaged in some form of social interaction that enhanced its hunting efficiency and survival. Understanding Velociraptor's place in the food chain also involves recognizing its ecological context. It coexisted with larger predators such as Tarbosaurus, meaning it had to be both wary and opportunistic, likely hunting smaller prey or scavenging when possible. This dynamic underscores a layered and competitive ecosystem where danger came in many forms and survival depended on adaptation and sometimes social cooperation. Beyond its predatory capabilities, Velociraptor's cultural influence continues to shape our fascination with dinosaurs. By blending science and storytelling, it symbolizes the blend of speed, intelligence, and danger that captivated both ancient ecosystems and modern imaginations. As we move forward, we will consider how mass extinction events and environmental changes influenced the rise of new predators in Asia, examining the ever-evolving saga of dinosaur dominance and demise. Asia's Mesozoic landscape was a dynamic stage upon which both the relentless forces of nature and the drama of evolution played out, especially during times of mass extinction and environmental upheaval. These moments of crisis were not merely endings, but catalysts, reshaping ecosystems and paving the way for new predatory dynasties to rise, each more adapted, refined, and dangerous than their predecessors. Mass extinctions, defined as relatively rapid and global decreases in biodiversity, punctuated the Mesozoic era and profoundly impacted dinosaur lineages across Asia. Among the most notable was the Cenomanian-Turonian boundary event, around 93.9 million years ago, which saw significant faunal turnovers influenced by changes in sea levels, climate shifts, and volcanic activity. Such events disrupted established ecosystems and populations, forcing survivors to evolve new traits or face extinction. In Asia, these extinctions cleared ecological niches previously occupied by dominant theropod groups, such as certain allosauroids and basal tyrannosaurs, enabling other predators to expand and adapt to vacant roles. Notable among the rise of new predators was the proliferation of advanced tyrannosaurids, including the famous Tarbosaurus, along with the diversification of smaller theropods that exploited evolving prey and habitats. This period also witnessed a fascinating evolutionary transition, marked by the increasing prevalence of feathers and avian characteristics among theropod dinosaurs. Feathers, initially serving insulation or display, became multifunctional tools that enhanced agility, thermoregulation, and hunting tactics. Such adaptations contributed to the success of numerous predatory lineages in exploiting novel environments. Fossil evidence from formations such as Mongolia's Nemegt Formation reveals a mosaic of predator diversity emerging from this post-extinction landscape. The coexistence of large tyrannosaurids, nimble dromaeosaurids, and intelligent troodontids demonstrates a stratified predator guild, each occupying specific ecological niches with distinct hunting abilities and behaviors. Environmental pressures during and after mass extinctions often drove increased predatory specialization. Changes in flora and fauna reshaped food webs, favoring predators capable of versatility and adaptation. For instance, fluctuating climates might have influenced migratory behaviors, hunting strategies, or social organization among theropods, enhancing their survival in increasingly competitive settings. In addition, these extinction events underscored the importance of evolutionary innovation. Predators that developed enhanced sensory capabilities, coordinated hunting tactics, or physiological advancements like improved metabolism and endurance gained distinct advantages. Such traits contributed to the dominance of new dinosaur clades, reflecting nature's tendency to select for complexity and efficiency in the face of adversity. The impact of these extinctions and subsequent radiations rippled through other groups as well, influencing prey species, ecosystem structure, and the delicate balance of Mesozoic life. Predators rising from the ruins often faced fresh challenges, including emerging competitors and the necessity to adapt continually. In sum, the narrative of mass extinctions and the rise of new predators through Asia encapsulates a story of resilience, transformation, and the relentless drive of life to survive and thrive. It illustrates how catastrophic events can reset evolutionary trajectories and spawn novel predators equipped to dominate new worlds. As we advance, our attention will shift to Europe's unique dinosaur ecosystems. Fragmented islands harboring dwarfed dinosaurs and a distinct blend of dangers reflecting the continent's complex paleogeography and evolutionary experiments. Moving from the expansive and diverse dinosaur ecosystems of Asia, we now shift our focus to Europe, a continent that, during much of the Mesozoic era, was characterized by fragmented landscapes consisting of numerous islands rather than a single large landmass. This insular environment engendered a unique evolutionary theater, one marked by the phenomena of island dwarfism, distinct predator dynamics, and the emergence of a fascinating array of dinosaur species that diverged significantly from their continental relatives. During the late Jurassic and into the Cretaceous periods, Europe's geography was drastically different from today's continuous landmass. Rising sea levels and tectonic activity resulted in the division of Europe into a series of isolated islands scattered across tropical to temperate seas. These fragmented habitats fostered ecological conditions that exerted strong evolutionary pressures, reshaping the sizes, behaviors, and interactions of the resident dinosaurs. One of the most striking features of European dinosaur fauna was the phenomenon of insular dwarfism, whereby large mainland species evolved into smaller forms due to limited resources, reduced predation pressures, or habitat constraints. This led to the evolution of dwarf sauropods and theropods that retained many characteristics of their larger ancestors, but did so on a markedly reduced scale, an adaptation vital for survival on resource-limited islands. For example, Europasaurus, a dwarf sauropod discovered in Germany, measured just a few meters in length, tiny compared to the colossal sauropods of other continents. Despite its size, it retained many of the key traits of its long-necked forebears, suggesting a successful adaptation to island life, where food availability may have been restricted. Similarly, theropods like the small but fierce Eotyrannus and Balor exhibited features adapted to their insular environments. Balor, in particular, displayed adaptations such as robust, double-thumbed claws, indicating specialized hunting or climbing abilities that set it apart from mainland theropods. These adaptations hint at the complexity of island ecosystems and niche partitioning within limited spaces. Europe's fragmented terrain also encouraged unique predator-prey interactions. Limited island sizes meant smaller populations and reduced genetic diversity, which sometimes led to unusual evolutionary pathways such as increased aggression, altered social behaviors, or novel hunting methods among carnivorous dinosaurs. Predators were also compelled to diversify their diets and hunting tactics to exploit the varied but limited prey options available. Fossil sites across Europe, ranging from the chalk cliffs of England to the limestone quarries in Romania and France, have revealed a rich tapestry of these island-dwelling dinosaurs. Here, relatively small but nonetheless dangerous carnivores coexisted with a variety of herbivores, many exhibiting unusual features and adaptations indicative of evolutionary experimentation. Moreover, the island ecosystems likely supported complex food webs with graded predator hierarchies that included not just the apex carnivores, but also mesopredators and opportunistic scavengers, mirroring the interactive dynamics seen on larger continents but scaled to the confines of island habitats. Europe's unique configuration thus presents a distinctive chapter in the story of dinosaur danger, one where isolation and environmental limitations sparked specialized adaptations and survival strategies that contrast sharply with the gigantism prevalent elsewhere. As we proceed, the story of these island dinosaurs underscores the versatility of dinosaur evolution and highlights the intricate balance between geography, ecology, and predator-prey dynamics that defined the Mesozoic era. Our next chapter will delve even further into these themes by examining the challenges faced by Europe's ecosystems and the remarkable species that called these islands home. Building upon our exploration of Europe's fragmented island ecosystems during the Mesozoic, we now dive deeper into the unique challenges faced by dinosaur species inhabiting these complex environments. The distinct geological and climatic conditions of Europe, coupled with its insular nature, forged evolutionary pathways vastly different from those on larger contiguous continents, resulting in intricate ecosystems marked by constrained resources, fluctuating populations, and innovative survival strategies. Europe's Mesozoic dinosaur ecosystems were shaped most notably by the continent's division into numerous islands due to rising sea levels and tectonic shifts. This archipelago-like environment was marked by isolation and limited land area, which imposed significant ecological constraints. Restricted food availability, reduced territory sizes, and habitat fragmentation all pressured dinosaur populations, fostering evolutionary phenomena such as island dwarfism, altered reproductive strategies, and unique predator-prey interactions. Resource scarcity was a key driver in molding the behaviors and physiologies of Europe's dinosaurs. With fewer and smaller land areas, herbivorous species often evolved smaller body sizes than their mainland relatives to manage limited food supplies efficiently. This was observed in dwarf sauropods like Europasaurus, which adapted by reducing sheer bulk while retaining the critical low-browsing feeding habits of their giant ancestors. Such size reduction was essential, not just for survival, but for maintaining reproductive viability amidst scarce resources. The predator species confronted their own set of challenges. Carnivores fed from smaller prey populations and had to either become opportunistic feeders or specialize in hunting smaller, agile prey. This situation led to a remarkable diversity of predatory adaptations, from nimble theropods capable of quick ambushes to more formidable predators evolving powerful defenses and novel hunting strategies despite their limited territories. Moreover, fluctuating environmental conditions, including periodic changes in sea levels and climatic variations, created unstable ecosystems that further pressed species to adapt rapidly. These changes could result in periodic isolation and reconnection of islands, inducing genetic bottlenecks or mixing that influenced evolutionary trajectories. This dynamic landscape fostered high endemism, but also vulnerability, as populations often lacked the resilience afforded by larger habitats. Social structures among dinosaurs on these islands may have evolved uniquely to cope with such challenges. Some evidence suggests that social or cooperative behaviors in both herbivores and carnivores helped increase survival rates, whether through group defense against predators or coordinated hunting that maximized scarce food resources. These social dynamics might have compensated for limited resources and the pressures of isolation. The smaller size of islands sometimes led to a reduction or even loss of certain predators, while others diversified to fill multiple ecological niches, reflecting an unstable yet complex trophic web. This variability could result in ecosystems where typically prey species acted as apex herbivores, and average-sized predators accumulated a disproportionate influence in their habitats. Additionally, European dinosaurs often displayed unique morphological traits, such as unusual limb proportions or specialized dentitions, which likely represent adaptations to their distinctive environments. Such characteristics underscore the evolutionary experiments compelled by island living and limited competition. From a paleoecological perspective, these insular ecosystems give us remarkable insight into how geography and environment directly influence evolutionary processes. Europe's Mesozoic dinosaurs showcase resilience and adaptability amidst constraints that enforced distinct evolutionary pressures compared to the continental giants elsewhere. This intricate balance of evolutionary forces in Europe's dinosaur ecosystems reminds us that danger and survival in the prehistoric world were multifaceted, shaped not merely by speed or strength, but by the subtle interplay of isolation, resource availability, and social dynamics. As we move forward, we will explore the often overlooked dinosaur faunas of Australia and Antarctica, where isolation fostered its own array of remarkable and dangerous species, expanding our global understanding of dinosaurian ecology during the Age of Reptiles. Venturing now to the southernmost reaches of the ancient world, we explore the largely forgotten and isolated dinosaur hunters of Australia and Antarctica. These continents, isolated by vast oceans and extreme climates during much of the Mesozoic, fostered unique prehistoric ecosystems where dinosaurs evolved along distinct trajectories. Despite the relative scarcity of fossil records compared to other regions, the predatory dinosaurs that inhabited these lands offer compelling insights into adaptation, survival, and danger under extraordinary conditions. Australia's dinosaur record, constrained by geological and climatic factors, as well as limited exploration compared to other continents, nonetheless reveals a fascinating cast of theropods and other predators adapted to its unique ecosystems. During the Cretaceous period, Australia was part of eastern Gondwana and experienced a warm, humid climate with extensive river systems and coastal environments. Among Australia's notable carnivorous dinosaurs were megaraptorans, a group characterized by their large hand claws and agile build. Megaraptor, Austroraptor, and similar species exemplify this group. These theropods could reach impressive lengths of up to 26 feet or more, and possessed long, powerful forelimbs equipped with massive, curved claws, possibly used to grasp and slash prey effectively. Their lightweight yet muscular frames suggest adaptations for speed and dexterity, enabling them to hunt smaller to medium-sized prey. The striking forelimb adaptations of megaraptorans set them apart from many other large theropods worldwide, hinting at specialized hunting techniques optimized for their environments. Such features may have been advantageous in Australia's diverse habitats, from floodplains to forests, allowing these predators to exploit ecological niches that larger, bulkier carnivores might not access. Contrasting with Australia's relatively temperate environments, Antarctica's Mesozoic dinosaurs endured much colder and harsher conditions, especially as it moved toward polar positioning. Fossil evidence from Antarctica's transantarctic mountains indicates that despite freezing winters and months of limited sunlight, dinosaurs thrived during warmer periods, illustrating remarkable biological resilience. Theropod fossils from Antarctica, such as Cryolophosaurus, reveal apex predators adapted to cold climates. Cryolophosaurus, with its distinctive crest and medium size, was among the earliest known theropods, measuring up to 20 feet long. Its robust build indicates a powerful predator capable of hunting large prey, including early sauropodomorphs and other contemporaneous herbivores. The Antarctic dinosaur ecosystem was characterized by a limited but specialized fauna, forced to navigate an environment where months of darkness and varying temperatures imposed significant survival challenges. This pressure likely fostered unique metabolic and behavioral adaptations, such as potential migratory habits or periods of dormancy, to survive harsh winters. Both Australia and Antarctica's isolated positions during the Mesozoic contributed to evolutionary paths distinct from other land masses. The geographic isolation limited faunal interchange, promoting endemism and specialized traits among predators and prey alike. This isolation also likely limited the diversity of dinosaur species compared to more connected continents, but the species present were nevertheless perfectly adapted to their challenging habitats. Studying these forgotten hunters enriches our overall understanding of dinosaur diversity, revealing the adaptive reach of predatory dinosaurs across varied climates and geographies. From the agile clawed megaraptorans stalking ancient Australian floodplains to the resilient Antarctic theropods thriving in polar shadows, these predators encapsulate the myriad forms of danger and survival strategies across the prehistoric world. Our continued exploration across continents will bring us to direct comparisons of apex predators worldwide, their strength, intelligence, and survival strategies, as we begin to determine which land masses hosted the most dangerous dinosaurs in prehistory. As we ascend to the pinnacle of prehistoric predation, it becomes essential to synthesize our journey through various continents by comparing their apex predators. This analysis, encompassing strength, intelligence, and survival strategies, allows us to appreciate the nuanced forms of danger embodied by these titans of the Mesozoic, and understand how diverse environmental contexts sculpted their evolution. Strength in apex predators manifests in multiple dimensions: sheer physical power, bite force, muscle mass, and weaponry such as claws, teeth, or horns. Tyrannosaurus rex, the iconic North American predator, exemplifies brute strength with its massive skull, bone-crushing bite estimated at over 8,000 pounds per square inch, and enormous body mass. Its ability to prey on large ceratopsians and hadrosaurs reveals a predator built for overpowering strength. Meanwhile, South America's Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus, though comparable or even larger in length, favored a somewhat different strength profile. Longer limbs suggesting higher speed, and teeth adapted for slicing rather than crushing. Their strength was expressed through agility combined with power, enabling efficient attacks on colossal titanosaurs. Africa's Carcharodontosaurus incorporated a mix of these traits. Its name, meaning shark-toothed lizard, reflects serrated teeth adept at inflicting deep wounds. Though not as heavy-boned as T. rex, its formidable size and slicing bite were lethal, exemplifying a powerful terrestrial hunter uniquely adapted to its ecosystem. Spinosaurus, with its aquatic adaptations and massive size, redefined strength through its ability to dominate both land and water, blending muscle power with niche exploitation. Intelligence, A less tangible but equally crucial factor in predator effectiveness is inferred through brain size relative to body size, sensory organ sophistication, and behavioral evidence. Several theropods, including some Asian troodontids and raptors like velociraptor, displayed relatively large brains and complex sensory regions. Their intelligence likely conferred advantages in stalking prey, social coordination, and environmental navigation. T-Rex, too, had acute sensory capabilities, enhanced vision, and a sizable brain suited for processing complex stimuli, traits that likely influenced hunting tactics. Pack hunting behaviors, though debated, are very plausible among raptors and potentially in some larger theropods, suggesting social intelligence played a role in predation. Survival strategies among apex predators varied widely depending on ecology and evolutionary lineage. Some relied on ambush tactics and overwhelming strength, as seen in T-Rex and Carcharodontosaurus, while others, like the megaraptorans of Australia or the swift dromaeosaurs of Asia, depended on agility, speed, and perhaps group coordination. Defensive adaptations of prey species influenced predator strategies as well. Ankylosaurs with armor, ceratopsians with horns, and massive titanosaurs required predators to evolve specialized hunting techniques, targeting vulnerable juveniles, exploiting environmental ambush points, or hunting cooperatively to subdue formidable adversaries. Moreover, geographic isolation and environmental diversity shaped evolutionary pathways. Island ecosystems, like those in Europe, saw a trend toward dwarf predators and prey adapted to limited resources. Conversely, vast continents supported gargantuan predators and prey, driving an evolutionary arms race where size and power escalated continuously. Ultimately, the most dangerous dinosaurs were those that achieved a delicate balance between raw physical prowess, cognitive sophistication, and ecological adaptability. This triad determined whether a predator could dominate its environment across shifting climates, varying prey availability, and competitive pressures. As we proceed to rank these continents and their inhabitants quantitatively and qualitatively in hosting the most dangerous dinosaurs, this comparative understanding serves as a foundation, highlighting the complexity and diversity of predatory power across the Mesozoic world. Having journeyed across the ancient landscapes of the Mesozoic, from the mighty tyrants of North America to the unique predators of South America, Africa, Asia, and the islands of Europe, and the remote terrains of Australia and Antarctica, we arrive at a pivotal question. Which continent truly hosted the most dangerous dinosaurs? To answer this, we must integrate our understanding of anatomy, ecological roles, evolutionary adaptation, and predator-prey dynamics explored throughout our expedition. North America's claim to fame historically centers on the Tyrannosaurus rex, the towering apex predator whose sheer power, bone-crushing bite, and probable intelligence set a benchmark for terrestrial danger. The continent's varied ecosystems supported a broad spectrum of carnivores, from swift raptors to armored herbivores capable of fierce defense. The fossil record here is rich and detailed, providing a comprehensive picture of dinosaur danger in many forms, from brute strength to agile hunting. South America, on the other hand, emerges as a land of giants and intense evolutionary specialization. Here, colossal theropods like Giganotosaurus and Mapusaurus rivaled T-Rex in size and physical dominance, while abelisaurids such as Carnotaurus demonstrated unique predation strategies marked by incredible speed and distinctive weaponry. The continent's isolation spurred evolutionary paths different from the Northern Hemisphere, yielding predators so adapted they challenged the very notion of dinosaur danger. Africa's contribution introduces fascinating dynamics, most notably the semi-aquatic Spinosaurus, whose adaptations blurred the lines between land and water predator, offering a distinctive form of pervasiveness in predator dominance. Alongside predators like Carnotaurus and the agile mid-sized theropods, Africa's ecosystems featured an intricate arms race, underscoring multifaceted aspects of danger shaped by environment and evolutionary experimentation. Asia, known as the realm of feathers and claws, offers unparalleled insight into the evolution of predatory sophistication. Feathered theropods from this continent emphasize intelligence, social behavior, and versatility. The diverse predatory guilds, ranging from the massive Tarbosaurus to swift and potentially cooperative raptors like Velociraptor, display a complex interplay of anatomical prowess and behavioral adaptation. Asia's fossil record illuminates shifting balances as mass extinctions and ecological pressures repeatedly redefined predator hierarchies. Europe and its island ecosystems present a contrasting narrative of size limitations, specialized adaptations, and ecological innovation. Despite the predominance of dwarfism and fragmented habitats, these insular dinosaurs demonstrated remarkable survival strategies and forged ecosystems rich with nuanced predator-prey interactions, emphasizing that danger need not be measured solely by size, but by ecological success. Australia and Antarctica, though lesser known and constrained by fossil scarcity, reveal that isolation fostered unique predators adapted to their environment's demands. The agile megaraptorans of Australia and the resilient Antarctic theropods epitomize danger shaped by climate extremes and geographic isolation. When ranking the continents by their hosting of dangerous dinosaurs, no single landmass holds an absolute monopoly. North America's tyrants project unmatched raw power. South America's giants reflect extreme size and specialized predation. Africa merges aquatic menace with terrestrial dominance. Asia balances intelligence and diversity. Europe and the isolated southern continents reveal evolution tempered by geography. In essence, the question of which continent had the most dangerous dinosaurs cannot be answered in simple terms. Danger manifested differently across the globe, shaped by the evolutionary pressures and ecological contexts unique to each continent. Each was home to predators whose adaptations made them formidable in their respective realms. Thus, rather than crowning a singular champion, we recognize a prehistoric world rich in diversity and complexity, where danger was a dynamic interplay between strength, intelligence, environment, and survival strategy. As we reflect on these ancient predators, we next consider their enduring legacy, the ways in which these prehistoric giants influence modern fauna and captivate pop culture, continuing to shape our imagination and understanding of life on Earth. As we reach the culmination of our extensive exploration into the world of the most dangerous dinosaurs and the continents that fostered them, it is fitting to reflect on their enduring legacy, not only in the natural world, but also in the cultural imagination that continues to captivate humanity. The biological legacy of these prehistoric apex predators is profound. Although non-avian dinosaurs perished some 66 million years ago during the catastrophic mass extinction at the end of the Cretaceous, their evolutionary innovations laid the groundwork for the rise of modern vertebrate fauna. Among their most significant contributions is the lineage leading to birds, the living descendants of feathered theropods, many of whom we have studied in greater detail, especially in Asia's realm of feathers and claws. The evolutionary success of birds across continents underscores how traits like feathers, high metabolic rates, and complex social behaviors, once the hallmark of certain predatory dinosaurs, continue to thrive. The intelligence and sensory faculties that characterized many dangerous theropods also echo in birds of prey today, from eagles to hawks, epitomizing a lineage of natural danger refined over millions of years. Beyond direct biological descendants, the ecological impact of giant predators like Tyrannosaurus, Spinosaurus, and Giganotosaurus helped shape ancient ecosystems in ways that influenced subsequent evolutionary pathways. The predator-prey arms races they fostered led to the development of defensive adaptations in herbivorous species, armor, horns, speed, that persist in various forms among modern mammals, reptiles, and birds. Turning to culture, dinosaurs have become iconic figures, representing both scientific wonder and the primal fear of nature's power. Since their discovery in the 19th century, depictions of dangerous dinosaurs have permeated literature, movies, art, and education, serving as symbols of prehistoric danger, mystery, and majesty. The impact of rulers like Tyrannosaurus rex in popular media is unparalleled. Featuring prominently in films such as Jurassic Park, T-Rex embodies raw power and predatory efficiency, thrilling audiences while inspiring countless documentaries and scientific research. Likewise, the cunning raptors, feathered theropods, and monstrous giants like Spinosaurus have all contributed to a rich tapestry of cultural narratives that mix fact with imaginative speculation. These portrayals have also driven public interest in paleontology, spurring exploration, fossil discoveries, and a broader appreciation of Earth's deep history. They encourage dialogue about natural history, extinction, evolution, and the continuous story of life's complexity and transformation. Moreover, the fascination with dangerous dinosaurs informs modern science communication, education, and even conservation efforts, reminding us of the delicate balance in ecosystems and the potential consequences of environmental change. In summary, the legacy of the dangerous dinosaurs extends far beyond their ancient lives. It lives on in the feathers of birds gliding across today's skies, the evolutionary strategies of modern predators and prey, and the collective imagination of humanity. Their stories bridge the prehistoric past with the present, inspiring awe and inquiry. As we close this comprehensive journey, we are reminded that while the specific creatures of the Mesozoic may have vanished, their imprint on life and culture is indelible, continuing to shape our understanding of nature's most formidable hunters and the profound forces that govern survival on our planet.